Hi, I'm Tia. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you my book diary wrap up for 2019. So back around May, I think it was, I decided to start a book diary. Some people might call this a book journal, but basically I just use it to keep track of all of the books that I read. So this is definitely different for me than my planner. I do use a Hobonichi Weeks planner to do my weekly page tracking, as well as keep track of TBRs and hauls and unhauls and what readathons I want to participate in for that month. That stuff is in a completely separate deal. This is just where I keep track of the books that I read. There's no planning in here whatsoever. So back in May, I did a video, and I will link it down below, where I showed you how I set up my book journal. And during that video, I said that I would come back and update you at the end of the year and let you see how my progress had gone in my book journal and whether or not I kept up with it. And so that's what this video is going to be. I am going to show you a flip through of all of the pages, and yeah, it's going to be a really quick, just a little flip through of my book diary for 2019. So here we go over to that flip through. Okay, this is going to be a update on my reading diary from 2019. I will link the original video down in the description box down below, where I originally set up this reading diary in the middle of last year. It will have a link to where I bought this particular dot journal and how I printed out the pictures for the reading diary and all of that stuff. At the beginning of this diary, I basically just have some reminders here for myself that I print out my pictures for all the books using my Internet Explorer app instead of Google Chrome. It just works better for me for some reason, the printer settings with this particular internet web browser. And then I noted down exactly where I go to print out the pictures and what size I print them. So if you decide to do something like that, like this diary, I definitely recommend making a note at the front of exactly how you print it out, so that each time your sizes will be the same. Otherwise, I found that I forget what I've done and I can never figure out exactly how I have things done the way I want them unless I write them down the first time, and that's the only way I can ever get them to match. So yeah, so that's what this is. Then the first page, I just put some cute washi tape in and wrote 2019 and my Goodreads goal. At the middle of the year when I had started this, it was 150 books. It was originally 100 at the beginning of the year, but I bumped it up by the time I had started my diary to 150 books. So that's why this says this. And this washi tape is from Creating & Co., and I will leave a link to their website down below. I have several of their bookish washi tapes, and I think that they work really well for this type of application. And now I'm just going to flip through and show you real quick. First I'll tell you just in general. So each entry is going to have a picture of the book that I read. I also number each one so that I can keep track of how many books I've read, the title with the author, the star rating that I gave it. I also make sure to put in the number of pages, the year it was published, the genre. I keep track of whether or not it's a book that I own, a book that I've unhauled, or a book that I borrowed from the library or a friend. So I'm always sure to make note of that. And then I always write in the date that I complete it. And if it is part of like a readathon or a buddy read, then I do always write that in as well. And then of course I just, write all of my thoughts and feelings about the book in each square. And so now I will just quickly flip through and show you exactly what it looks like completely completed for 2019. Hopefully this will get you inspired if keeping a reading diary is something that you are interested in doing. I really think that it helps me to remember more about each of the books that I've read, to write something down about them, and I have enjoyed going back and looking through this from time to time to remember the things that I've read and exactly how I felt about them. So you can see some of the things I will have a lot more to write than others, so the size of my boxes do vary from book to book. And then on the very last page, I have just written in my 2019 year-end review, made sure to write how many books I read, the number of pages, and my average star rating, as well as how many books I gave 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, and 1 stars. And then down here, I printed out pictures of the 6 books that I DNF'd during 2019. They don't count towards my total number of books, but I do like to keep track of them so that I know that I at least attempted to read these books and that they didn't work for me. Now, this is going to be the start of my 2020 section in this diary. So this journal has, I think I'm at least going to be able to get 2020 in here. I might be able to fit 2021, but probably not. It'll probably just end up being a 2-year journal, and then at the end of 2020 I'll probably have to get a new one. But right now I'm going to make this title page with some pretty washi tape so that I will have, you know, just a section off here. And I've already started to write in. I read 2 books at the time of filming this. So far I'm not doing so great in January. Goodreads tells me I'm 8 books behind, so for my goal. So anyway, so I've already started writing in here, but I haven't done the title page yet because I just got my white and gold washi tape in the other day, and I wanted to use this to have like a gold theme for 2020 this year. That's just going to be my intro page for 2020. And then I'll just work on filling all of the rest of this up. And let me know if you would like for me to do an update mid-year on whether or not I'm still keeping on top of this, or whether or not you would just like a year-end update at the end of 2020. Let me know if you keep a reading diary and how you go about doing it. I would love to chat with you down in the comments about all of these things. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next.